G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game of Age of Mythology. You'll notice we're a little bit late into this one already, just because, well, we tried to do it the first time and things didn't go well for us, so we're gonna go into it the second time and hopefully a little bit better this time. Spawning in on the north side of the map in the color blue, playing as Odin. It is Requiem. And on the south side of the map in the color red, playing as Hades, we've got Benny World Record. Probably not Benny World Record, probably just Benny WR. I don't know what the W and the R stands for, but I know who Benny is. I played a game against Benny before. He's a pretty decent player. So both of these guys, both of them pretty good. Around the 1200, 1300 range, which is definitely on the higher side at the moment in the beta. I've seen a couple of people that have got like really high win rates and really high ratings. So I think a couple of them are like Matrius I've seen. Who was another one? I remember seeing, is it, I want to say Flame Pegasus? Is that, maybe that's another one. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm confusing people. Anyway, I saw he had like a crazy high win rate. So anyway, so not quite the top of the table, at least not yet, but decent win rates from both of these guys. I think Requiem sits at about like 65%, 68% somewhere. He's played a fair few games. But anyway, let's get into it. We've got our temple already going to be coming down here for Requiem. He's already utilized the Great Hunt ability. He's got plenty of food back up here. Now, I think that when it comes to the power... Oh, hold on, don't worry. This is expected. If you're thinking, hold on, my stream's lagging, my YouTube's lagging, what's going on? No. This is Age of Mythology Retold, ladies and gentlemen. We get this every single game. This time we got it at the 2-minute mark. Some games we get it at the 11-minute mark, at the 14-minute mark. And sometimes it will only drop to like, you know, you get like 10 frames a second. There it looked like it was about 1 frame every 6 seconds, but you get the idea. Have a look at what he's done here with the goats as well. Isn't that so cute? So, when it comes to AoM, I guess how it's different to Age of Empires 3. Wait, has he done the same thing over on this side? Look at this. They've both got their goats like perfectly ringed around the TC. That's got to be intentional. When it comes to Age of Empires 3 and Age of Empires 4, which is where I've traditionally come from, all of the maps were similar in the regard that they all had like a decent amount of hunt. When I say decent amount, you know, it depends, right? Like there was a map called Sonara in Age of Empires 3. It had like no hunt whatsoever, but it was still like, you could make a decent living as like a bison skinner back in the day. And then there's like Great Plains, which is just, I'm sure you can imagine, you've seen the pictures of all the skulls of bisons. There was a lot of bison on that map. Whereas in AoM, it's a little bit more pronounced, right? Like as an example, you can play on, I want to say marsh, and there is just hunt littered across the map. And on a map like that, I feel like your Odin is not going to be as powerful, right? Because you're getting that little bit of extra food increase, but it's like, does it really matter that much? Like, we've all got so much hunt here. I'm not really counting my chickens here because I don't even care if they hatch, because even if they don't hatch, I'm not going to bother eating them because I got hunt out on the map everywhere else. Whereas on a map like Oasis, where there's no hunt, I feel like the power that you've got here with Odin is significantly stronger. So on a map like this, I feel like it's pretty mid-range. Meanwhile, we've got classical age through Athena. On the north side, we've got the age up about to come through. It's going to be with Frey. I like to keep you guys in the surprise at that stage, but you're not really surprised, are you? You know what's going to come. You know the Minotaur is out here. You know the Valkyrie's out here. We've seen this matchup before, and we know what the dominant minor gods are going to be. So it's no real surprise. But have a look at this. Forward base now going to be coming up for Benny on the south side, but immediately we start to see the Valkyrie looking to do some damage. Got a fair bit of damage coming through on that villager, but beautifully microed from Benny keeps the villager alive. Now, as I mentioned before, I played against Benny. Good player, really good player. So I'm going to be looking to see exactly what Benny gets up to this game, what his plans are, as he's also now looked to put the sentinels down around the main town center. So might be thinking of perhaps sticking it with the one town center for the foreseeable future. Maybe a little bit of a heroic age if we're lucky, but there it comes from the north, from the top side, the forest fire. But once again, it's like, I don't, like, you think about this god power, right? Now compare this to like the Carnivora that Gaia gets, and it's like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, okay, sure, you just burnt some trees and now I've got to build a new storehouse, but it's like, it didn't really do that much, did it? You know, and then you think about the Carnivore, and it's like literally eating the army of the enemy, and it's like, one of these is not like the other. We'll say that much. But on that north side, Raiding Cavalry's already coming out. The Toxers on the back going to get caught out of position, unfortunately. And the Raiding Cav is feeling very good about itself. Ajax going to be the last man standing here. Unfortunately, It's going to be it's a slow fight on that north side. Last of the Tox now going to be chased away. Now we've got ourselves a hoplite coming out as well. Achilles also going to be joining into the battle. At least I think it's Achilles. It is Achilles. Look at that. Didn't even have to click on him to know he's Achilles. I'm starting to learn these names. Not only am I learning the meta, I'm learning the names of the individual heroes of the Greeks. There you go. Because they're all different names, right? Don't worry. When we get to the third age, I will be calling out Chiron very, very early. I'll be like, look, that guy right there, that's Chiron. He's ranged. He's a centaur. And he fucks shit up, right? Like, that's pretty much it. Meanwhile, it looks like we've got the upgrade coming through. Medium raiding cavalry. They've now got that leather on the side. So he's looking to try and pick up a couple. Oof. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Running in head first like that with your myth unit, you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. All right, give me a quick second here. I gotta take a drink. All right, we're all good. We're all good. Thank you for giving me that quick second. Let's check in and see how we're doing on the north side. I can't imagine this is going to be a fight for too much longer. Yeah, you can see it's just going to be him looking to try and chase around. You know what? We didn't even do a relic review yet. Can we do a relic review? I'll take a relic review. We've got the Scarab Pendant. Increases the crush damage of close range siege weapons and myth units. This is very specific as well. So it's the Colossus and siege weapons. I feel like this is like one of those things where it's pretty delayed before you're actually going to see any impact on it. And 20%, it's a decent amount, but it's very specific. I'm going to go with like a C tier. We'll give it a C tier. Nice raids coming through for Requiem here on the south side. He's doing a wonderful job with the raiding cavalry, and I love this. I feel like this is the way that you really want to be playing that one base Odin style. This is the style that I love so much. Just because you can keep your enemy on their side of the map. But look at this. Despite that, we still see the aggression coming out. Where are these vills, by the way? They're all idle. But it looks like they might be moving up to berries despite having plenty of hunt out on that map. So that's the first relic. Second relic, what have we got here? The Scales of Echidna. Myth units are cheaper, 15% cost. I like this. I think this is a really, really nice one. Myth units obviously very powerful in AoM Retold. I think this is probably close to an S tier when it comes to the power index, the Drongo relic power index, the DRPI. Yes, it's a scale that you'll be familiar with. Maybe not now, but it will eventually you'll be very familiar with it. But Resto coming through. I don't agree with this Resto. Not enough units here to justify a Resto, especially not going to be a favorable fight for him. I can't imagine this going well. He has managed to... Oh, hold your horses, Drongo. Hold your horses. Yeah, throwing Axeman going to be coming in. He's got more reinforcements on the line. I feel like that's a huge waste of the Resto. Like, sure, you might get yourself a little bit more value here. Buy yourself a little bit more time. I don't know, maybe... Am I seeing things a little bit wrong here? Was that Resto actually decent? Perhaps it was. He's got reinforcements on the way and more units are coming up. It could have been enough for him to buy time. And perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps the truth is that the Resto actually was clutch. Even though it didn't look like it was good at the time, the Resto allowed him to keep those units alive for that time. The reinforcements came, and it meant that he maintained that mass. And once the reinforcements arrived, that mass becomes critical, and now you've got a problem that is not just moist, it is absolutely tactile. So let's get into it, because Requiem looks like he might be on his last legs here. 37 military up against 2. How is he going to look to defend this? You can see the Longhouse is going to get eaten alive. We've talked about that second relic. Let's go check in with the third relic. What do we got? We've got the Trojan Gate Hinge. Increase wall hit points by 20%. Now, I'll say here, this is my caveat. I don't know if this is 20% off the base hit point percentage, right? Or whether it is 20% on current levels. So I'm going to say that this relic, if it's 20% off the base level, it would be D tier. But if it's 20% on current level, so what do I mean by that? So if, let's say you've got like, walls of 500 health. And when you get this relic, they go up to 600 health. Okay? So that's a multiplier of 20%. But when they go to 1,000 health, once you get like the next upgrade, does that then go to 1,200? Or does it just give you that only that 100 based off the first level? That's my question. So the answer to that will depend on what it goes into. But it's either D tier if it doesn't scale, or I'm gonna go with like a solid B tier if it does scale. Definitely nice to have. Bill's going to get picked off here. You can see the villager count going to be starting to favor Benny right now. Numbers looking really good for him. I don't know how Requiem's going to hold this. Keep in mind, behind this, Benny can look to think about expanding out as well. This could be an option for him. He's taken really good control of the map, but speaking of expansion, we've now got Requiem beginning to push out. Now, you might be wondering, Drongo, where's that fourth relic? You've seen 3 relics. Where's the fourth one? That's a great question. Let's go take a look at it. Don't worry, I saw it. I knew it was coming back. The fourth relic It's going to be the anvil of Hephaestus. Hephaestus? Hephaestus? Hephaestus. Estia. Yeah, no discussing it. And for all of our podcast listeners out there, the anvil of Hephaestus is reducing the gold cost of techs by 50% at your armory. That is right, a 50% discount on your gold techs, or on techs that cost gold. Like, the gold component of the techs costs 50% less. And you got to remember, every single tech has gold at the armory, right? Like, it's golden wood, or golden food. Like, if you want to get the weapons, golden food. You want to get the shields, golden wood. You want to get the shields, weapons, and the armor, that's wood and gold. So there's a gold component to it on every single one, and it's 50% off. That's for the entire game. You're talking a lot of resources there, right? Especially once you get up to the Mythic Age. And for Civilizations, or for Thor, as an example, where it also affects his 4th level of bonuses, it's just absolutely ludicrous. And keep in mind that there's also other techs that will come into your armory as well. So, like, it depends on what they are, but quite often you'll just get, like, minor god techs that will come into your armory. And so now that's 50% off. It's just like, it is such a good relic. It is definitely an S tier relic. Probably, like, it's such a good relic, I feel like putting it in the S tier, it almost needs a tier of itself with, like, the gate relic. If you guys know the gate relic meme, you're in. If you don't know it, that's okay. We'll share it with you one day. All right. Cavalry numbers looking pretty decent out here on the map. What do we got here? Infantry starting to build, and you can see that despite the earlier issues, Requiem has found a way back into this game. He's managed to put aggression over onto the side of his opponent's map, starting to raid out villages here. No sign of a second town center just yet for either of these players. You can see that they are making decent expansion towards the additional resources out here. But the main push is going to be towards the middle. Once again, it's just going to be the raiding cavalry, and you can see how annoying this is to deal with, right? Like, it's just... And this is something that is so common in Age games as well, right? Like, you've got this rock, paper, scissors thing that's going on, where your archers counter your spears counter your cav, and your cav counter your archers. The truth is, while the spears or the pikes, or in this case the hoplites, do counter the cavalry, that's only if they're fighting them. And you've got to remember, the cavalry, it's very fast. And we're not going to take a fight against spears if we can. Age up, about to come through. What do we got? We got Aphrodite, no real surprise there. On the other side of the map, we've got Odin. He's not thinking about aging up there. And all of them turned into pigs. He says, thank you very much for the memories. Wow. Absolute destruction right there. Says goodbye to the raid. Cleans it up completely. That is so painful. That is so painful. Because now, wow, that is... I'm kind of speechless, man. I am speechless at how crazy powerful that just was. Minotaur's up here fighting, looking to push back the enemy. Decent number of Toxes as well. Requiem's in trouble. Requiem is in big trouble. His enemy just hit the heroic age. Also lost his raiding forces, and now he's lost his main army as well in a fight that he probably shouldn't have taken with his opponent. This is not looking good. That was just one of the most beautifully utilized god powers I think I've seen. It was just really unfortunate timing for Requiem, right? Like, that was just... It felt like it was from a dream. That's how bad that was. Man, we're just dropping references all day. That was an obvious one. Sorry. I should have made it a bit more subtle. Shouldn't have overdosed you with obvious right there. Give me a second. I got to take a swag of my drink right here. S tier. It's water. You know that water's always on the S tier list. Well, I was watching a video about it the other day. It's called Liquid Death. Isn't that a funny story? That is a funny story right there. All right. Oh, no. Requiem's run out of wood at the exact right time. Does he check his idols? He checks his idols! And just before they can get attacked... Oh. Ooh, that's awkward. That's awkward. He's going for the ox cart instead. A little bit weird to go for the ox cart. Oh no, you've been gnomed. They're not gnomes, they're dwarves. I know, it's different. It's different. Man, those dwarves get on out of there though, don't they? They are absolutely motorboating. They go very, very quickly. Have we got the age up coming through yet? Berserk upgrade just arriving now as well for Requiem. He's going to try and hold it in the second age. Minotaur going to go down. No bull Minotaur upgrade just yet for Benny. Infantry numbers looking decent though. He could turn and fight this. I don't think he'd be too much of a hassle to do it. Nemean Line's also here to help support. It's going to pull in a couple more units. Meanwhile, towards the front, reinforcements continuing to flow in here. Requiem, you can see he's starting that farm transition, unable to really be out on the map. Meanwhile, his opponent's eating pigs for dinner. You know exactly why that is. And now, looks like he's trying to bite off a little bit too much here. Is Benny going to be forced back away from this Requiem position? Now back on that south side of the map. Once again, Requiem looking for a way back into the game with Cav. You can see the villager count is, at the moment, in favor of Requiem. He's got an advantage of 14, which is significant. I don't know how many he managed to take out during these fights, but like there's not a lot of vills that are down here. And these trees in particular, they have got something to say for it. Have a look at that. All right, they worked themselves out. Meanwhile, on that north side, Nemean Line together with the infantry army. It's mobilizing heavy hoplites, medium toxotes. Yet to get that upgrade in just yet. Sorry, another drink coming through. I am a little bit sick at the moment, so I will apologize in advance. Not in advance, because we're kind of halfway through this already. What is it? 17 minutes. Jeez. We're getting there. We're getting there. Morville's going to be going down. The raiding god right now. He is just absolutely raiding his opponent to death. He's trying his best to hold in the base and at the same time just constantly raiding. I feel like I'm watching a game of the Mister. This is exactly what he loves doing as well. But now Repelled once again takes out a couple more villagers. You know, it's 2 vills here, 2 vills there. And I got to start wondering, Benny, are you going to start throwing down some walls? Like a wall across here, a wall across here? Absolutely wonderful. Would definitely help him out. Let's ride back on board with Benny and see how he's doing. More upgrades on the way through. Looks like heavy range soldiers coming through. He's right-clicked this, so it means he's not researching it now. But when he's got the resources to research it, he'll just click that bad boy and straight away he'll be fine. But speaking of researchers, let's take a look up towards the north side. Ooh, that's so painful, isn't it? Right as you get behind the wall. Requiem is now aging up. What's he going to be going with? Is it Scardy? It's Scardy. No real surprise there. Scardy's going to give him a good opportunity for a misplay. No, a counterplay. No, an outplay. Yes, that's what we're looking for. But have a look at this. Huge amount of vills about to go down. Counter raids happening on the south side in multiple positions. And he's still looking to try and take the fight to keep the vills alive. Don't know how I feel about that, but I think it's probably the best thing you could do in this situation. Maybe look to try and fall back from this. You're up against heavy units. Also up against that Nemean line. It gets off a couple of stuns there. Meanwhile, towards the front line, you can see the hoplite's going to be taking some decent damage here from the throwing axeman. But I think it's probably best that you just fall back, try and maintain... Oh, no. That is not the right direction, my friend. It's the wrong direction. You want to be facing the one direction and head your ass on out of here. Meanwhile, looks like that Cav did end up getting clean back at home. You can see all the shades now starting to come out as well. Numbers still looking okay for him here. Now, remember, with Scardy, he's going to be able to use the Frost ability. I don't think it's a good idea to use it right now. There's nowhere to really Frost. So probably your best bet. It just makes sense to get more Frost Giants out. The more Frost Giants that you've got, you're able to neutralize Nemean Lions with it. He's got a lot of wood in the bank as well, so he can try and take advantage of that. I think Frost Giants are gold, though, if I remember correctly. Let's double check here. Yeah, they're gold, so 200 gold. Quite expensive. 157 favor, by the way. That is a lot of favor. So we're here. Don't worry, we're here. I was just looking to make sure that we're still here. 157 favor. You could pretty much back-to-back Frost with that. In fact, you could. I think it's 150 favor for a recast. So you got to remember when you do that, utilize that Frost, though, it's going to grant all the units that are affected by it armor. So there's only really a couple of ways that you want to be using it, and one of them is not just freezing the entire enemy army and just chilling out, pun intended, for a couple seconds, couple minutes. All right, numbers once again going to start building here. 57 versus 40. I don't know how Requiem's done this. Honestly, I don't know how he's managed to get himself back in the game. Sometimes, like, I watch these games and I just don't understand, like, what was it that contributed to this victory the most? At least in Requiem's case, it's somewhat easy to see that if he wins today, and I feel like he is. You know, as a Norse enjoyer myself, I suspect he's probably going to be the winner here because the Norse is definitely the cooler out of the two. Even though saying that, Hades is probably the more popular. I feel like Hades is like the English in Age of Empires 4 or the British in Age of Empires 3. It's like Hades will be that. The Archer Civ is always the most popular Civ. Oh. Somebody call evac, please. Can we all hop inside the ox cart and maybe we can roll on out of here? You can see I think Benny might be a little bit confused as to if and where these villagers have gone. He's just kind of chilling at the moment. He definitely knew about it. We can see that enemy vills have made their position, or made themselves known. Up to 75 favor now. I think that might be enough for the second curse. No, it's not. He needs 125. 125 for that curse. So, realistically here, how about resto? He could look for a second resto. It's 100 that he's going to need for that. So, I'd be tempted to throw a couple more vills on favor. You got to think about it, right? Like, you got 48 vills. Like, you can afford to just throw, like, 4 vills on favor generation. Have a look at this. He's going to get caught out of position. He's not paying attention. Completely eaten alive. Doesn't need to freeze. Doesn't need to use frost. If another army comes in from an angle, he could look to frost that instead. And then focus this army down. That way he's got them split. But this is a beautiful play from Requiem right here. This could be a game-winning play. That's how good that was. And it wasn't so much a play, in fact. It was just a mistake from Benny. Benny wasn't paying attention. He sent his units to go off over to a gold mine in some western part of the map. And he's just ended up losing half of his military. Now it's 96 against 37. What are the odds that he pulls this one back? I would say low, but I said low on the north side of the map when, you know, just 6 minutes ago, he was trying his best to finish the game. Nemean Lions are in queue. If there's anything to hold in this game, it's going to be Nemean Lions back to back. That's what we need to see right now. So very good use of his favor right there. What is going on with this little guy right here? I think the town center's just attacking him. Second TC up, by the way. Third TC also going to get taken in the middle. I say third TC. It's the second TC for Requiem. I mean, it's the third TC if we count TCs in a south to north direction. Third TC, and this is the fourth TC, as you guys would be aware. Plenty cav down here on the south, still just chilling out. Hill Fort coming up. Looks like we've got the... That is not a medium raiding cavalry, I can tell you that. That is a portable ram. That is a portable ram. All right, let's come back in from the satellite view. I gotta keep reminding myself to not watch these games in satellite view. Like, it's just so tempting. I gotta bring it back in. I gotta dial this bad boy back in. Nemean Lion. Don't do it, Nemean Lion. Don't you roar. Don't you roar, Nemean Lion. Good boy. All right, onto the back line. Roar, please. One. Stagger, stagger. No, don't roar at the same time. I don't think it stacks. It doesn't stack. Oh, Frost Giant comes in. Looks to help out. Meanwhile, second Frost Giant's gone into the back line. Don't know where he's decided to go. A couple of hoplites going to try and stop him. Another roar comes in. Frost comes in right on time for that Nemean line. You know his roar had just come up. Beautiful Nemean line stacking right here. Another Frost Giant. You can see just that one-on-one targeting working so well here to try and keep them down. Another one at the back. Somebody stop this guy right now. He's looking like the... What's his name, that guy in the United States? The Tiger King? Except these are lions, Drongo. He's looking like the Lion King. Oh, no! Oh, Drongo, that's copyright. You can't be saying that. Not in 2024. You've got it. That doesn't enter the free domain until 2030. Is it? It's probably a lot later than that, to be honest. Hersier back here, just causing a little bit of trouble. Meanwhile, over towards that west side, raiding cavalry once again. Requiem trying his best just to end the game through... How would I say? End the game through a non-standard play style. Let's just say that much. How much are we talking? 90% pierce armor on these bad boys, by the way. Don't you dare attack these with archers. You're not going to be doing too much, and the number's looking way too good. I think this might be it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vil count has begun dwindling. The raids inevitably caused an end to this game. You know, this is the #1 contributor. There is without a doubt, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, that is the #1 contributor this game. But have a look at this. We've got more reinforcements coming forward. Hill Fort going to be looking to close it out as well. Forced off the gold, and in the corner, Benny sits here with his head in his hands, unable to think up any sort of response other than Nemean Lion. Make more lions. We need more lions. Now you can see why. Where is it? Is it this relic right here? Yeah, the Scales of Echidna. Now you can see why the Scales of Echidna might actually be pretty decent, because when you're making this many myth units, like, these aren't cheap, right? Like 250 gold. So that's like, what is it, 15% off? So oh, actually, it's not that much when you think about it that way. Because it's not a percentage off the favor amount. Yeah, maybe it's not that good then. You know, if it was off favor, then I could then I'd be like, that's S tier. But it's not off favor. So it's really not that good. Because that's your main limiting factor. It's favor. Frost Giants pushing through. Let's check in on that north side. See how Requiem's doing. No age up coming in just yet. Second TC obviously is up. So his economy is starting to pump. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it shortly. He's maxed out 190 pop against 90 pop of his opponent. Big freeze coming in right now. Ajax together with a couple of hoplites. The last stand. 86 favor in the bank now for Benny. What does he look? He hasn't even used Frost yet. He's still got Frost, but he's just never needed it. And I think, you know, that's just so well played by him. I think the biggest point or the turning point in this game, I mean, might have been this catch here, but I don't think it was. It was like the fight that happened. There was a fight that happened up here, which should have gone in Benny's favor a lot more than it did. But I mean, even then, I don't think you can just point at one single fight and be like, that's what caused this game to be over. Like, to me, it was just the absolutely insane raids that we just witnessed from Requiem. He is the raiding god right now. Speaking of gods, is it time? It's almost time. We've almost got enough resources in the bank. He's spending that gold like crazy. I don't know what he's spending it on. I mean, I know what he's spending it on. I can see his build queue, but you guys get the idea, right? Like, we should be just be going to the Mythic Age. All right, let's finish this bad boy off with a bang. That's the way I like to think about it. All right, more raiding cav. I just realized these are medium raiding cav. They haven't been upgraded to heavy raiding cav yet. He's been doing this the whole time with classical age cav. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but still, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, but it'd be nice, right? So annoying. So freaking annoying, dude. Towards the front. Still holding. Another Nemean line comes in. This is like, the 23rd Nemean line in this game? The numbers are building. We'll say that much. There it is. Benny resigns. He says, you know what? We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it today, kids. And taps out. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Pretty decent game coming out there from Requiem and Benny. Round of applause, please, for our victor today. It's gonna be Requiem in the north on the Norse. Of course, no real surprise. We know the truth here. The Norse are the Giga Chads, at least of the stress test that we've got here. Let's take a look. I want to see civilian units. That was something incredible. Look at that Vil line. Oh my lord. Now, one thing to note here is that you've got like a slow and steady struggle here. Just as the Vil count goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. But what's this? What's this? Oh, don't worry, baby. We're here right next to you. And slowly but steadily, Benny starts to climb. But you know what happens? Yeah, that's right. Requiem kicks straight back into gear and keeps the raiding coming. To me, the winner of this game was the raiding cavalry. Beautifully executed here by Requiem today. Let's take a look at all resources collected as well. You can see Requiem miles ahead, despite that villager count looking pretty similar for a large part of that game. Actually, let's take a look. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Like, this is like... The main thing I want to do is, like, I want to draw between the differences, right? Like, that's what I want to see. Because here, you've got, like, a huge difference in resources being gathered. So it's like, at this point right here, 12 minutes is where you should really start to see that deviation. So there's that 12 minutes. So they're within 1,000 of each other at the 12:23 mark. And then, of course, that's going to open up massively because now you've got all those Vil kills happening. So really well played game in the end. Incredible performance there by Requiem. Well played to Benny as well. Unfortunately, today, he is not victorious. So well done, but close. Not close enough.